Hi, I'm Ashley White. I'm a commercial artist in Tucson, and today I'm going to walk you through my process of designing for clients all the way from the consultation to painting the finished product. So today we're here at Transplant. It's a new concept by the Cereal Grillers company. They have several locations in Tucson, and this is their new Detroit-style pizza concept. When I go into a consultation, there's always a few things that I keep in mind when I'm talking to the client. The first thing is, what product are they selling? So what kind of food are they selling? What kind of service are they providing? What is it that they're selling to a customer or to a client? And the next thing I want to know is, who is that client? Who is that customer? Are they marketing to families? Are they marketing to young professionals? That will all inform what the artwork should look like, because it should appeal to the person that's coming in the space and buying the product. The next thing I always think about is the physical parameters of the space. So when I walk around, I think, what's going to be visible for this client? What's going to be visible for this customer? Where are they going to be sitting or standing when they see it? What are they going to be doing? So this wall behind me, we knew was going to be the most important artwork in the whole space, because it's what you see when you walk in the front door, and it's obviously the largest wall in the whole space. So we knew that what we wanted to design for this wall would be the most representative of the brand and the most eye-catching and memorable piece in the space. So you can see that this design, even though it's fairly simple, it's got clean lines, solid colors, it has a really big impact. And you can imagine if you were to first walk in the door and see this, you would be like, wow, it would make a big statement. The last and most important thing is, what's the overall vibe that my client's trying to achieve? How do they want people to feel when they're in the space? What do they want to be associated with? Often I'll ask a client what kind of emotions they want their customers to feel. Do they want their customers to feel relaxed and comfortable? Do they want their customers to feel cool and edgy, like they're cool if they come here? Do they want their customers to feel like this is a very classy environment, it's more upscale? So all of those different emotions and feelings will inform the style of the artwork that I design. So for Cereal Grillers' new concept here, Transplant, it's Detroit-style pizza. And so they wanted to do artwork that had kind of a street art, graphic art, pop art kind of vibe, but still felt clean and modern and consistent with the brand at the rest of their restaurants. So I did a lot of research on pop art, graphic art, like from comic books, street art, like murals in Detroit, graffiti, that kind of thing. And I found a lot of different elements that I could pull from those styles of artwork that I could use in the space without feeling too casual, and keeping it clean and modern and appropriate for a restaurant. I'm here with my assistant, Alec. He's helping me paint today. And he's painting this piece behind me that I designed as just a fun, quirky mural. They really wanted to incorporate some artwork that just was a little bit silly and had a sense of humor to it. And so we decided on this concept of a floating astronaut reaching for a flying piece of pizza. And so you can see up here, this is going to be a slice of pizza, Detroit-style pizza with wings. And that pizza is actually from their logo that was designed by their in-house designer. And so I looked for opportunities to include things from their logo in the artwork so that it all tied together. So when I find inspirational images to use and know the characteristics of the artwork that I'm going to be designing, I will start working in two different programs that I use to design. One is Photoshop and one is Procreate. Procreate is actually a really helpful program for designing because it's very versatile in allowing you to sketch directly onto your tablet and then use the editing software like you would with Photoshop to create layers, change colors, create different textures, and really play around with the design until you feel like it's right. And the other thing you can do with it that I really like is you can take a picture of the wall that you're designing for and draw directly onto that wall, so you can get a sense of scale, you can show the client what it looks like with the surrounding space, and you really get a sense of what it's going to look like in the end. Here's a walkthrough of how I designed the Astronaut mural. I came to the space before I did the design and just took this picture of the wall as it was, and then I kind of did a brief sketch of how large I wanted the mural to be. Then I did some research to find some reference images. So I actually just Google image searched astronaut reaching, astronaut floating, stuff like that. because I wanted to find a very specific orientation of this astronaut so that it looked like he was floating in space and reaching for this pizza. So when I found the reference image that I wanted to use that had the astronaut going in the right direction, I came into Procreate and created a layer above the image of the astronaut and traced the outlines of it so that I just had a general shape to work with. And then I started creating the mural based off of that sketch. So you can see I added shading, I added the artwork style that I wanted to use. Even though the reference photo was an actual drawing, I wanted it to be more of a pop art style. So I didn't copy it literally, I just used that reference image as the shape and then did other research about what characteristics were of pop art, and so I could emulate that and apply it to my reference image. So that's why I have this purple shading, the really solid black outlines. You can see there's not really any other shading or detail. It's very bold, black and white, solid colors. So then I have multiple layers for the different elements of the mural. That way, if I decide I don't like something, I can come in and change one thing without having to change all the other parts of the mural and start over. So Procreate is actually an amazing tool for artists for mock-ups. Even if it's not completely the same as what your final piece is going to look like, it's super quick for kind of trying out different shapes and textures and changing colors really quickly without having to restart. So you can see if I wanted to just change the color here in his jetpack, all I would have to do is click on that layer, come in here, choose a different color, and drag it over. And I can see instantly if that color works better. This is the Procreate file where I chose the original color palette that's incorporated in a lot of the artwork here. So I created this same font in each different color that I wanted to use for the bevel effect. So I chose 4 of the brightest colors that I thought had some dimension to them, and I created 4 files of the same letters in the different colors. And then to create the bevel effect, I took my pencil and just used the eraser tool to erase out the parts of the letter that were not that specific color. And when I did that on each different file, I was left with this bevel effect. I didn't want to make it too detailed because, again, we're sticking with a simple graphic style. So there's all different ways you can do beveling effects. Some are more realistic and some are less. For this one, I wanted to keep it pretty simple and bold and not do a lot of shading. Just let the colors create that 3-dimensional effect themselves. So that's a little overview of my process of the consultation with clients and how I go into the design phase. If you have any questions about that, be sure to leave a comment below and like and subscribe and stay tuned for future videos.